In 2019, the state of Hawaii was awarded a federal grant to support struggling readers and literacy efforts throughout the state. In 2020, the Campbell-Kapolei Complex was honored to be selected as one of 6 complex areas to execute our plan to support family literacy, student literacy, and cultural literacy. Our complex professional learning series for our secondary teachers is with the Minor Collective. We believe that our secondary teachers enjoy opportunities to collaborate and think about ways to reach those students who have barriers to their literacy learning. They come together over the summer and quarterly to discuss these barriers and brainstorm ways to bring those barriers down and have successful, literate students in all content areas.
The Minor Collective really supported me providing literacy that was culturally relevant to my students and that was engaging.
This helped me be a better reader because at first I couldn't really read fluently or anything like that, but now I can read more fluently and I'm more confident in reading it out loud.
The impact has been immense. Not only am I finding that the text is more interesting to my students, but the questioning strategies I was given to be able to use when engaging with this text have really supported more of a diverse topic for us to discuss in small groups.
Well, this year in the Minor Collective, I've learned a lot about this is a different way to look at literacy and the multiple literacies that our students need to grow in and how we can coach them and help them grow in academic and in social situations.
This project made us better speakers because in May, we have an exhibition night where we will be presenting our projects to our peers, fellow students, and family members.
Our PBL project really exemplified compassion in action because we are really impacting our community by making a difference. My favorite or most memorable part of this project is probably work together and collaborate with each other.
I think my favorite part is researching. I really enjoy going through articles, newspapers, magazines, and finding all the information to put together into my project.
As I've shifted my pedagogies in slight ways that really kind of incorporate different literacies for the students, they've engaged with the subject matters in new ways.
What was so powerful about this grant and the team that we put together is it's cross-curricular. So as the STEM teacher who maybe I don't always have access to this literacy piece, now I have a team at school where we're all aware, from social studies to choir, a lot of different disciplines, and I think that really builds a stronger team when the disciplines are on the same page so that we can enrich each other's work in that literacy space.
The one thing that I learned about the Minor Collective, my biggest takeaway would be redesigning curriculum. I feel like I took a lot of value in thinking of different ways to approach curriculum. The Minor Collective, they're really good about putting the needs of students first, so they are a lot more confident to share their ideas, regardless if they feel like they're wrong or not.
My favorite thing about English and social studies is basically the way they teach and how they incorporate real life situations instead of just giving you an assignment and it being super boring. They're incorporating real problems and solutions and whatnot.
The teachers really involve us and we get to go hands-on to learn. They go the extra mile to make sure we understand that we have a grasp on the concept that we're learning.
Some of the things I learned in English is that it's not always what you see first in a book. If you read a book and you're like, oh, this book seems kind of boring, it's not interesting, that's what you see at first. But if you keep reading, you realize oh, this is actually really nice, it's interesting. And I learned to do that with people instead. So instead of looking at someone and be like, oh, they're kind of off, I would get to know them, and now I understand people more, like how I understand books.
It's definitely helped me be better at speaking because I'm not a very confident person. So the way Ms. K does it is she puts you in smaller groups and then gradually get larger, which is really helpful because you get comfortable with the people around you and eventually you get more comfortable with bigger groups and speaking and whatnot.
The engagement for students through the Minor Collective really increased. I feel like students are a lot more comfortable with reading, writing, and comprehension as well.
I learned how to really focus in on key students that I might need to provide extra supports as far as figuring out how to connect with those students and support them in the classroom and really show the students that what they're learning is meaningful and relevant to their lives.
Anybody who joins next year's minor collective cohort can expect to have enriching conversations about their pedagogy, about literacy, and to really push their thinking.
As educators, for myself personally, the worst thing is professional stagnation, when I feel like I'm not learning and I'm not growing. And if you are lucky enough to be part of this cohort, you are going to be growing at hyper speed.
I just want to deeply express my thanks to all the teachers and all the staff members that have worked through and with the CLSD grant, not just for their efforts in coming to the PD, but for being in the trenches, working with the kids every day, and really being with the students and their families and their own professional development in hopes that they're furthering not just themselves and the students, but our whole entire community. So thank you very much. We really appreciate all that you guys do, and the students are forever grateful.
So I really appreciate the teachers who are participating in the minor collective PD, being willing to stretch themselves to learn more, to get better at their craft, to further impact our kids. You know, I appreciate them having the courage to take on literacy and to try to remove the barriers for kids to improve in literacy. Hopefully we can impact more kids moving forward.
We would like to thank all the teachers who participated in the Minor Collective Cohort 1. Your energy and collaborative spirit has made a huge impact on the students you serve. I know the students who have had barriers to literacy instruction and even barriers to enjoying school are better off because of the work you did. We look forward to seeing what happens with next year's cohort in Cohort 2.
My favorite thing about English is actually the fact, it's like my teacher actually. My teacher is nice, and no matter how hard I struggle, she's always trying to help us out.
Knowing that they care helps me learn better because it helps create a better connection so that you get to know your teachers better. And when you get to know your teachers better, it can help you understand and you get more comfortable so you can feel more comfortable asking questions.
Something I think I'll always remember about this year is how interactive it was, and it was definitely a good experience to be hands-on and ask questions, and they'll help us individually.
I feel like the most important part about doing this PBL project is once again making a difference, because as we're working on this, we're really thinking about the other people in the community.
I agree with Tayanini that it was making a difference and showing compassion in action and trying to find a solution to these problems that are hurting our community.
My favorite thing about this program is it really gives me confidence and makes me have another family, because I feel like I have a lot of more families than just one.